Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Lisa, and just checking in. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the tips that we need today to kind of survive and thrive as a small business owner or a future small business owner. Or if we need to, there's just a few things that we need to kind of keep in mind as we are navigating on today. So I'm going to share this to some other places so that we can have more dialogue in what we're doing on today. I am broadcasting from the wonderful Macon, Georgia. It's nice and sunny. It's sunny today. It is definitely Father's Day, and everybody is enjoying time with their fathers today. I hope that you have told your father how much you love them, how much you appreciate them, and have given them the big piece of chicken, as we like to say. Hopefully, you have done that. So, I'm Dr. Lisa. I'll be doing the checkup call today, and we're going to be talking about the 5 tips to survive and thrive in a small business of today. I will wait for a few more people to come on, so that we can, really have a robust dialogue about the things that I'll be discussing today. So sharing is definitely caring. I want you to, place some people's name in the comments that you think would just enjoy this topic. We're only going to be on for about 25, 30 minutes at the top, at the max, excuse me. And let me know that you're here by chiming in, telling me hello. You can do that in the comment section. So let me know you're here. All right, let me know you're here. Hey, Dr. Lakeisha, thanks so much for joining us today. All right, so we're going to be talking about some of the things that you really need to understand as we are trying to survive and thrive in the marketplace right now as doctors. I would tell you the first thing that you need to think about is that things may be hard, but don't give up. Running a small business is very challenging, even when it's in the best of times. And I just want to kind of give you a few statistics before we go into my top 5 ways for you to survive and thrive. 30% of small businesses are going to fail within 2 years. 50% fail within 5 years. Only 25% of businesses last 15 years or longer. So any small business owner will tell you that running a business is very, very challenging. And you have to manage 1,000 moving pieces. And so you got to make sure you're staying on top of things like your cash flow, employee performance, if you have employees, sales, marketing, and many other factors. So many doctor entrepreneurs struggle to manage all these different elements, and their business can struggle as a result. But when circumstances get tough, running a small business can get even more challenging. And so we've had a lot of events throughout the years that have kind of placed a squeeze on businesses. Think about the Great Depression, think about World War I, II, the Cold War, the 2008 housing market collapse, and now we're dealing with the 2020 coronavirus pandemic. During all of these difficult times, small businesses have folded under pressure because they simply weren't able to keep going. But there are a lot of businesses that survived these incredibly challenging circumstances. So, and even for some of them, they've even thrived in some of these times. So we're going to talk about what makes a business really thrive through the hard times. Because you have to do things like be creative, and you have to take decisive action, and you need to make tough decisions, but you're able to do it. So let's talk about these 5 things that you have to do in order to not only survive, but thrive when there's difficult times. So the first one is we're going to manage your mindset. Manage your mindset. That's important to do that. All right, so if your business is struggling, it's absolutely essential to manage your mindset. Can we agree on that? When things get tough, it's really easy to enter this downward mental spiral. So you start thinking about all the things that brought you where you are. You start to second guess yourself. You start to wonder whether you would have been in a better place if you had did things differently, blah, 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 blah. You start to even begin to doubt your abilities and whether you ever could succeed. And the more that you engage in these thoughts, the worse you'll feel. As you start to work and stabilize and turn around your business, it's important to maintain a positive mindset. Now, to be clear, this doesn't mean that you're going to pretend that everything is okay and you're going to bury your head in the sand. We're not going to do that. It means that we're going to maintain faith in our ability to bring about positive outcomes. A positive mindset also means that you are resolved to never give up. We're going to keep striving to improve things and bring our business to a place of health. If you're struggling to maintain a positive mindset, remember that almost every great business leader has endured struggles similar to yours. No one is exempt. So I'm going to just share with you a couple of examples of that, because sometimes we lose our way because we're only thinking that we're on this island by ourselves and we really aren't. All right, so let's think about Bill Gates. Bill Gates, his first business was a complete and utter failure, but we all know who that is today because he never gave up. Apple almost collapsed and went under bankruptcy when Steve Jobs was the president, but they never gave up. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before he was able to develop the light bulb, but what's the main theme here? They never gave up. If you want your business to succeed, you need mental toughness. You must be able to persevere in the face of difficulty and keep going even when things look bleak. So there's like these 5 things that I want you to do to overcome negative mindset. Number 1, we want to pay attention, because it's easy to let negative thoughts come in and we start really just going into the spiral with them. But we want to stay aware, and we want to make sure that when that stinking thinking wants to come in, that we are doing things and have a mental awareness and be prepared for that. Number 2, we want to question. So as these negative thoughts are starting to arise, we want to question them. We want to say, hey, is this really true? Because most likely it isn't. We want to mentally push back on that. Number 3, we want to silence it. Anytime the negative thoughts start to get in, it's time to begin to silence them, put them away. We want to avoid letting these same thoughts steal from our good mental energy. Number 4, we want to replace it. Now we want to shut down that inner critic, and we want to replace it with positive, helpful dialogue. So those are the things that really can set you back into pace and push you to be more creative in your business. This can be the driving force that help you make those tough decisions to get things back on track. One of my favorite quotes from Wayne Huizenga is like, some people dream of success while other people get up every morning and make it happen. Will you make it happen? So number 2 is we're going to clarify the problem. Before you're able to really identify a solution, it's important to first clarify the problem. Why is your business struggling in the first place? That's a good start. And you don't have clarity on a specific challenge that you're facing. And if you don't have a grip on that, you really won't know what steps to take to really save your business. So these are some common problems that most people are going to face in their business every day. Number one, market changes. Market changes all the time. So you can have economic factors that do that. New technology could come. You could have some emerging competition. All those things can really cause the market to change. And so your survival is going to require that you are able to adapt and change as it happens. Failure to understand your target customer or your market is another problem that businesses are going to face. So if people aren't interested in your product or service, there's a good chance you don't understand who your customer is and or the market. Poor pricing strategy. If your prices don't match the customer demand, you simply won't sell much. Number four is insufficient funds. If you don't have enough money on hand, you're quickly will tank your business really, really quickly. And number five is too much growth. Now, don't get me wrong, growth is good. It's a great thing, except when there's too much of it. When your business grows too fast and you're not able to keep up with the demand, you can fail very quickly. That takes me back to the whole Popeye's chicken sandwich, and I've had plenty of conversations on that over the time. So that Popeye's chicken sandwich was definitely a fiasco because they just weren't ready for everything that came along with it. But identifying key problems within your business, it can definitely be a painful exercise. No one likes to be reminded that they fail. It's not a good feeling. But if you want your business to thrive during challenging times, you must be able to put your finger on the primary problems. I fashion it like this. We're all doctors. When a patient is feeling sick, they come to us. What's the first thing that we do? We determine what is causing the illness. We then are able to prescribe the proper treatment. But if we don't do that and we just start taking random methods and doing random treatments, giving random medications in the hope that it'll work, it's very likely that the patient will not get any better. It is the same principle in business. You have to identify the cause of the problem before you can determine the proper solution. And the sooner that you identify the problem, the better. So let's go to number 3. We're going to focus on our customer. Before we get into details about specific actions to take, we have to look at the bigger picture. What is the heart of every business, including yours and mine? Customers. We call our customers patients. If you don't have patience, you don't have a business. So when deciding what actions to take to strengthen your business, always keep your patients front and center. If you want to make changes that end up hurting your patient, you're ultimately hurting yourself. You're going to lose people who are the very center of your business. So the moral of the story is we want to always keep our patients at the top of the priority list. Before we make any changes, we probably need to consider how it will affect their customer experience. If the patient experience is one of our key advantages, we have to keep that in the forefront. If we destroy that, it will be a death blow to our business. So if you do make changes that directly affect the patient, you have to communicate that with them clearly. You have to explain to them why you have to make change and the outcomes that you expect. The more transparent that you are with your patient, the more understanding there will be. All right, so let's get into our next one. And that is number 4. We're going to create objectives and we're going to create a plan. Now, everybody kind of understands when we talk about a SWOT analysis, because in order to really create objectives in a plan, you have to do the SWOT analysis, the strengths, the weakness, the opportunities, the threats, all right? So that we're able to use what we've learned and kind of put that into action. So once we determine the objectives, we can now pursue and create this plan for achieving those objectives. It's going to give us the clarity that we need to move forward. So we're going to start with our strengths. We're going to look at the things that we're really doing well. We're going to see whether or not this gives us the conversion rate that we need for our patient success. And we're going to use all the wonderful tips that we've learned in converting readers to buyers, whether that include using large email lists and the like. We're going to look at our weaknesses. We're going to figure out how we can change and minimize that. We're going to move on to opportunities to see if we can move information into a new market. And then we're going to finish with the threats so that we can avoid them or adapt for those things that could hurt our business. We'll be able to create these objectives and a plan for how we'll meet those objectives. We will increase our profit margin if we do the things to determine the specific steps that we have to take to make it happen. All right, so let's look at our last one. We're going to be persistent, we're going to be creative, and we're going to pivot. All right, so we've been hearing that term pivot really a lot now since COVID-19 has come about. We want to make sure that we really understand what that means and how we can definitely implement that when we're going through all of these wonderful things that are happening in the world right now. And I say that they're being very sarcastic. All right, so what separates businesses that fail from those that thrive? That's an important question to really, really think about, because persistence and creativity is definitely what is the answer. Successful businesses persist through challenging times because they're going to come up with creative solutions to the difficult challenges. They're going to figure it out, and they're going to figure it out fast, and they're going to move forward. They just don't give up in the face of adversity. And sometimes you're going to pivot to something completely different from the business model. You know, that makes me think about the beer company that's now doing cheese right now. They probably never thought in a million years that they'd be producing cheese in their factory right now, but that's what they're doing. All right, so how can you pivot in your business so you stay afloat and meet the demand of your patients? So I'm going to talk about a few ways that you're able to actually do that. We want to utilize new sales channels. If you have a brick and mortar business, you may want to consider selling online. If you have a select segment of your customers, 80% may come from the revenue, but 20% may come from customers. You may want to try to focus on the 20% that's coming from your customers, and so that you can increase more funds from the 20% that's actually driving money in your pocket. You may want to focus on a feature. So if you sell a product that has one particular popular feature, you may want to focus on that more heavily. You may have to change your revenue model. You may have to do something different. You may have to change your pricing and your position, and you may have to adopt a new technology altogether. But these things may be difficult, and you don't, but they don't have to sink your business. Don't give up, because persistent does produce success. That is just, if I can't leave you with anything today, to let you know that persistence definitely produces success. So how do we take action today? If you want your business to survive the storms, you have to take effective action immediately. You have to avoid just trying to wait it out. You have to you got to execute. You got to put some energy behind it. As my grandmother would say, either chew or mildew. And one of them is an action word, and one of them is just sitting around doing nothing. And so we're going to choose to chew. We're going to choose to do something. We're going to avoid just trying to wait it out, hoping that things are going to get better. We're going to be doers who are successful. All right, we're going to be those who confront challenges head on. We're going to map out our strategies for change, and we're going to begin acting on that strategy. We're going to take action on these things, and they're going to dramatically increase our odds of survival. And guess what's going to happen after that? We're going to tip the scales in our favor. So these are just a few things that I wanted to kind of talk to you today about. Just 5 simple things that can help your business survive and thrive in today's climate. We want to manage our mindset. We want to clarify the problem. We want to focus on our customers. We want to create objectives and a plan. And we want to be persistent, creative, and pivot. Again, guys, I want to just say, thank you, because it's Father's Day, but we want to make sure that we stay on track. And I'm Dr. Nisa. I am a nationally recognized chiropractor and business coach. I help chiropractors maximize their time by giving them the blueprint to successfully open up their practice without making costly mistakes, thus turning their dreams into dividends. Be good, be blessed, doctors, because you are the driving force. You are just what this world needs today. So think about the things that we kind of talked about today, and keep your mindset positive. Make sure you identify those problems that are happening to you each day so that you can work them out. And you got to focus on the main thing and keep the main thing, all right? Be persistent in all that you do. And just know that we love and care for you, okay? Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.